All right. Fuck it. I don't know.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
All right, MMA Maniacs, it's time once again for your weekly MMA podcast called Split Decision, brought to you weekly from the Ruloff
No
Family
net.
Inc.
We're doing it with no net. Getting out there.
From the Ruloff Family Inc. Studios, it's Bueller and Dodge ready to bring you the mixed martial arts news of the week. Of course, break down fight cards from last week and look forward to UFC 203.
Told you.
This
On cue.
weekend. We're professionals.
Professional.
Put it on mute.
Can you mute that sound?
Yeah. I was trying to.
My computer would do that shit at 2 o'clock in the morning. When you do like a
When it reboots?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just put it on mute.
Yeah, it wouldn't. I don't know. Okay.
It'll stay on mute
Well, it's crashed now.
It's
so
going to
doesn't
make noise one more time, too.
till you unmute it.
Till you unmute it.
Yeah.
So yeah, strongboardbalance.com. One of our sponsors. Big thanks to them. Get on board. Change the way we work out. Strongboardbalance.com.
Did you figure out if you're supposed to be doing all of that?
No, so what I did is I put together a hodgepodge 35.
So you made up your own?
I made up my own of I made 35 minutes out of the 40 minutes because again I had to pull out the
Pull up.
The row.
the paddleboard
Doesn't like
thing.
the paddleboarding.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't like paddleboard.
But I'm gonna tell
He
you,
likes paddling.
I'm next week I'm cutting out some squats because dude,
You gonna be able to get out of that chair when we're done?
shit, it's crazy. There's like 7 squats altogether from beginning to end.
Well, it's because, you know, your quad is the biggest muscle in your body, so it burns the most calories, man.
No.
Trying to help you out.
Have you not seen my head? My neck muscles burn the most. Fucking pulling this big old head around.
So strongboardbalance.com. You can check them out on Instagram for your chance to win one. Boing.
Tito Ortiz got his whole family
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
the strong board.
I saw that. That's really cool.
Imagine that head. His neck muscles.
His balance must suck on that strong board.
He had to have somebody guiding him.
Yeah, I saw that.
I felt cheated because I don't
didn't get
ever
a free
have.
guide?
I don't have anybody to spot me on the
Need a
strong
bigger
board.
head.
You need a bigger head.
Also, mymmanews.com. Check them out if you want to catch breaking news. They're right here. They do this all week. We do it once a week, so you catch all the breaking stuff there. Tell your friends. You can find us anywhere podcasts and broadcasts. Our Instagram and Twitter is SD_MMA. Facebook is Split Decision MMA Podcast, and our website is splitdecisionmma.com. With all that said and done, I think it's time to jump into some CM Punk news.
Some news.
The punkness.
So we had talked about how CM Punk was over 200 pounds last week.
Right.
So I got the full story with that now. It was during a media call. They asked him how his first weight cut was going, and like, you know, you've never done this before. Are you going to be able to make it until welterweight? And he goes, no, it's going awful. I'm over 200 pounds. It's not looking good. Mickey Gall was on that same phone call, and he started laughing, and he says, you know what? That's fine. He's like, I hope you do come in heavy, because I'd love a little bit of what you're making. Because obviously, you know, you get a percentage of the purse if
Right.
your guy comes in heavy.
The 20%.
CM Punk went full heel, says, you know what? It would be the most money you've ever made in your entire life. And if you think I'm about to give you some of my purse, you're fucking crazy. They both laughed about it. And that was it. That was like the end of the whole thing. A lot of people are up in arms about how is CM Punk allowed to fight this weekend because he's never had a professional bout, especially in Ohio, where they
changed the rules.
they require you to have a minimum of 5 recorded amateur bouts before you're allowed a pro license. However,
Cash is king.
pretty much cash is king, but I mean, what it comes down to is, I mean, like I said, anybody who's seen Rocky knows all you have to do is go in front of the board and you can debate your case and they can make a decision based on case-by-case basis. They require you to have 5, but if you can come forward and prove that you're able to do so, they looked at things like, you know, we have confidence in Matchmaker of the UFC, who's all of his past bouts that have ever been submitted in Ohio we've never had a problem with. We have confidence in him as a matchmaker. We have confidence in his head coach, who's come forward and said that he is ready for these fights. We have confidence in the fighter he's going to be fighting, that it's reasonable, and basically saying that he has what they consider the equivalency of being like 3-2 in amateur status.
How did they even come to that number?
And
They give him a winning record. He has no fight, but they went ahead and gave him a winning
well,
record.
like, didn't you already
they
say the
said
number?
it'll
He's
be-
undefeated in 643 days.
643 days, CM Punk is undefeated in the UFC. I want everybody to know that. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Yeah. Almost as long as, who was it? Somebody else didn't fight that long, right?
Dominic Cruz.
Aldo.
Aldo and Dominic Cruz.
Yeah.
So again, here we go. They're saying they think it's going to be a competitive fight. They're going to put it on the card. They're going to sanction it, and we will have our bout tomorrow.
All right.
How are you taking your money?
As long as he doesn't trip walking down to the cage.
Tomorrow.
Joey's going to have somebody Nancy Kerrigan him. There's people out there who don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
Just you're gonna have Randy Orton come out and RKO him in the middle of the.
That'd be rad.
There's
you can't make it into the cage though. It's got to be while he's walking down.
Got to be
the
while
ramp.
he's walking, or from in the backstage, something.
Yeah.
I just thought of that. There's like 19 and 20 year olds going, "What the hell is he talking about?"
Who's Nancy Kerrigan?
Who's Nancy Kerrigan?
More on
Who was
Nate
the other one?
Diaz.
Tanya Harding, right?
Tanya Harding.
Harding.
She had the awesome video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, I don't know if it was
Give it
awesome.
to me. Give it to me. Give it to me.
It was weird lighting.
Really?
Very weird, and they were wearing costumes like they were married.
You guys are like, I'm just happy there was a porn video.
Did that come out before the Pam and Tommy one?
Yeah,
That was like the first
that was
one. huh?
one of the first ones.
Yeah.
Oh, after Pam and Tommy, how do you beat Tommy?
Right, he's driving a boat. He's driving a boat.
With his wiener.
And now Pamela Anderson has come out against porn. Did you know that?
Yeah.
8-time Playboy cover model.
Yep.
And star of one of the biggest selling sex tapes in the world.
She's against it now that
Says-
she can't be in it.
Yeah, she says porn is for dummies.
Oh my God! I don't eat
That's
meat
fine.
because I'm a veterinarian.
Porn is for dummies. I'm a giant idiot. That's
No
fine
argument
with me.
here.
Exactly.
UFC 202. We talked about Nate Diaz and his trouble with vaping, it's CBD
His
specifically.
CBD pen, yeah.
Looking at the rules and the sanctions, WADA, their definition for in competition ends at the end of competition. So
Oh, okay.
their rules state that it'll be 12 hours before a competition, during competition, and ends once competition is over. The Nevada State Athletic Commission has come out and said that they will not impose any penalties on Nate Diaz because of they follow the WADA rules. The problem that we're having, or apparently what's going to happen, is that the UFC and USADA have a custom-tailored anti-doping policy and contract that they've come up with for UFC athletes. That's the one that states you cannot have anything after 6 hours after your fight.
That's dumb.
So if the UFC or USADA is the one to decide that he is
So you can't even
in
have
trouble,
like a celebratory beer? That's fucking stupid.
according to them,
But I thought
6 hours after.
Cerrone said that he grabs a beer right when he gets out of the.
Yep. But they don't. Again, it's something.
Not trying to throw anybody under the bus either. I don't need that guy knocking on my door.
It's something that they will have to look into. Now, if the UFC or USADA both do not press any charges or look for any penalties or anything like that, then he'll be fine. Legally, it is what it is. So, I think it's going to come out. He'll be fine.
Yeah,
I really do.
the only thing that I see is that because they can't really. I mean, we're beyond the point of testing him. So all he has to say is that no, I was trolling everybody.
Right.
That's what wasn't in.
Yeah,
there.
because I mean, he tested before.
Right.
Before he started smoking. So it's not like they can go, oh, we found it in your system.
Right, because I think that's why he had such big balls when he was like just telling everybody what it was.
Yeah, he knows
that
that
and
you're
trying
gonna
to
test
probably
it.
getting a little bit of money from True.
You think so?
How could he not? I mean, he was on almost every legalized marijuana thing. They were like, "Look at this UFC fighter! Look what he did using True."
They're going to pick that up no matter
Yeah,
what.
but I mean, and they all put the True logo up.
Oh, okay. I didn't see
You
that.
know, yeah.
I just saw them talking about it.
Right. I'm pretty sure. I mean, product placement.
Yeah, why not?
Is
Now-
he gonna get in trouble?
That's what I'm going to say. Is he going to get in trouble for not representing just Reebok during his, whenever it's supposed to be before and after fight week?
I don't think that they have anything against like marijuana liquids. It wasn't written in the contract. It probably says like sports label, supplements.
And not only that, but I didn't see an actual label on the pen. He was just smoking the pen. And
Yeah.
he didn't specifically say True.
No,
just
he
said-
did.
I did heard him say CBDs.
No, he did. He said this is from a company called True.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. There you go. Cyborg Santos, Cyborg, what is her new, I always forget her new last name. Anyway, she has decided that she will probably no longer do any more catchweight fights. She wants to stay, she's getting tired of having to keep doing.
This is the last time we're going to see her do 140.
It's quite possible the last time. She said she started it, she's having to run 6 miles every day just to make 140. She's having trouble doing, these 140 fights. I mean, we saw the one video where she was crying, trying to make the weight. She says it's not, there's
her
no
big thing-
plans for the 145-pound division in UFC. She doesn't want to make 140. She said she'll only make 140 for super fights. It's no longer just going to be, hey, we want to throw you on a card, which is pretty much what has happened.
She's
says,
getting like everybody else. If you want me to do this, it's got to be for big money.
Yep.
Or for a big fight.
Yep, and that's what she wants to do. She says, I'll fight Holly Holm. I'll fight Ronda Rousey. That's the fight she wants really, really bad. She says, obviously people want... and she's all, maybe my dream is they'll come in and make my division at 145 in the UFC. I just don't see it happening. I don't see a lot of girls at 135 trying to move up. to 140 to fight me, or 145 to fight me. She doesn't see that as something that's realistic. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens.
From what I've been reading, is like this has probably been the easiest for her.
It has. She did say this was
a new nutritionist.
This was the new one for her, but she just wants a break.
Yeah, dude. For as big a frame as she is,
yeah,
it's got to be bad. I mean, because look how bad. I mean, all these videos and the footage that's coming out from Misha Tate's, how bad her weight drop was.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a whole group of women who are fighting at 135 that want that 145.
Yeah.
And I bet Ronda wouldn't mind fighting at 145.
I think at the beginning of her amateur career, she did fight at when she has at least a couple fights at around the 140, 142. I want to say she.
You know
did.
what I mean? And then that way we have true 145ers fighting at 145.
Right.
True 135ers. You know, let's get that 120. And then 115.
So you think we need more weight divisions for women or just overall?
I think we need one more for the men. I think we need a lower one.
That is something that actually I have a story here. Big John McCarthy says he would like to see. He says he would like to have some more weight classes. The places he would like to see them, he says, I've proposed getting rid of the 170-pound weight class, the welterweight, and he wants a 165 and a 175.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good spot? And then he said the next spot that he feels that would be in there is he said there's too big of a gap between 185 and 205. Let's put another division in at 195.
See, and
so now that's only two divisions that he's adding. He's removing a division and adding a division, so that's cancels each other out. But you're adding now a 165, a 175. You're going to have the 185, and then you're going to have a 195.
So then what happens when you
205?
And then what? Tell these people that they can't fight in a multi-weight division, because otherwise you're going to have.
I mean, it's going to be like boxing. Most guys move up divisions like it's no problem.
Yeah, but
because it's within 5 pounds.
I don't want to see
in MMA. It's anywhere between 10 to 15. I mean, you have in the smaller weight classes. It's about 5 pounds,
right.
or 10 pounds.
I just don't want to see a super dominant 175er come in, cut, get a belt below him
at 165,
and then come in and get a belt above him,
and then go to 195 or 185.
Yeah,
you don't want to see a guy that has 165, 175, 185 pound belts.
Right. I just don't. I mean, because he's. I mean, obviously.
I talked about this. A couple guys have hit me up on Facebook, and or I've had a couple guys come down in the bar, and we've talked about it, and they say, things like that, like, well, we need more divisions. It needs more divisions. I said, tell me right now. Right now in the UFC, we have 10 divisions, right?
Wait.
10. We have 10 divisions right now. Okay? And you have unified rules as 10 divisions. Strawweight, flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, light heavy, heavy, and super heavy. The UFC does not use super heavy for guys. And the UFC does not use strawweight for guys either, with the 115 and the 266-pound weight classes, those extremes. We do have 2 weight classes for women right now. We have bantamweight 135 and strawweight 115. But if you can tell me, without looking them up, who are the champions in every one of those weight classes, you pay attention to MMA quite a bit.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of guys that can't tell me. And I understand the belts change hands. But now I want you to tell me, can you tell me a guy who holds, name 5 boxing champions, the current boxing champions right now, and what weight class they fight in?
Right.
There's like 30.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's crazy because of how many belts they have. Because of the promoters only get money if it's a championship fight, so that's why you have all these different organizations with all their own belts. And B, you have weight classes that are 5 pounds apart or 3 pounds apart, and you got it. You got guys jumping all over. I got this one, and this one. I got 6 weight classes of belts.
Yeah, not to mention that. Plus, they're in the WBC.
That's what I said. The multiple promotions. Like, it's absolutely nuts. So I don't know. I mean, I can understand the 195. You got guys like Vitor. You got guys like Luke Rockhold. Some of these bigger guys who, 260. Even Randy Couture back in the day, where heavyweight is actually too small for them. But 205 they're pretty big for that weight class. You know what I mean? And then he also says he would like to see somewhere around 230. Something between 205 and 225 for those other big guys that are in the small end of the heavyweight division.
Yeah, and Eddie Law is saying that there definitely needs to be something between 185 and 205.
I think the 195 division is the easiest to interject. I don't think we need to get rid of the 170 and put in a 165 and a 185, or a 175. I think that's a little too close. I'm okay with 170 and 185. But I think between 185 and 205, there should be something. Because a lot of those guys, at least in my opinion, seeing the amount of fighters, there's more guys that could fit in that area
right,
than some of the others.
But I mean, in that aspect, too, I mean, if we did do something above the 225.
Yeah, they're saying they want something around 230, like a cruiserweight. And you look at guys like our champion, Stipe Miocic, he's 240. Okay, he could cut to 230,
Right.
235. You got Fabricio, 238. You got Cain Velasquez, 240. Alistair Overeem, 244. Junior Dos Santos, 238. Andre Arlovsky, 240. Those are a lot of guys that could fight at 230, 235 easy.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe not Overeem. If he stays off the horse meat, it's possible. But the upper end of the heavyweight division.
I mean, looking at Rumble Johnson, you can't tell me that these guys can't cut weight to come down. I mean,
right? We've seen that.
Yeah, we've seen Rumble drop all the way down to 170.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, they have the ability. I mean, at least to weigh in. I don't know what the new IV rules and all that.
Right,
If they're going to be able to do that, but
and again, I think which we've talked about before, that a lot of these guys are going to be fighting a little closer to their true weight once they stop doing these crazy weight cuts. And we've been talking about that since day one.
right.
Speaking of somebody who wants to drop weight, Frankie Edgar is saying he is willing to drop to 135 for a title shot. Only a title shot. He doesn't want just some random fight. He says he will drop to 135 to fight Dominic Cruz
Right, and I
for
get
a
it.
title shot.
He don't want to do the extra work.
Now, mind you, Frankie's a small guy. He was our champion at 155. Never got finished at 155.
I'll give you, he is a smaller statue guy. He's not a small guy.
He's pretty compact. He looks pretty good at 145.
Right.
But dropping down to 135, you think that's something you want to see just for a title shot?
Again, I mean, I
guess-
know we're talking about, he's going to go down to the 135 class, but you and I both know he's not going to walk into that ring at 135.
Right. I agree with that.
He's gonna fly in on Monday, and he has to be within 18% of 135.
Yeah, I mean,
he's gonna weigh in at 135.
136. He's allowed that 1 pound.
Friday morning.
Yeah.
and he's gonna be back to whatever he fights at 145.
Yeah.
by the time he fights
that
on
night.
Saturday.
Yeah. I could definitely see that. I don't know how I feel. I mean, obviously he wants a title shot again. So if he's not going to get it with McGregor, he's willing to drop another weight class to get it with Dominic Cruz. I don't know if that's the best idea.
Yeah, because I feel that's McGregor this whole time. I know that everybody says he's dominant at 145, but I don't think he should be fighting at 145.
I mean, Frankie Edgar says right now he weighs 162, and he cuts down to 145 for his fights.
Right. So honestly, what do you think he walks into the ring at? 156? 157? Closer to 160?
No, I would say probably in the 150s. Yeah,
Right.
almost the same weight as he was, when he was fighting at 155. Like
So
right
if he waited at 135, you think he would be back to that 155 by the time he stepped in the ring?
No, I don't know if he could jump that high. I mean, I guess it's possible.
Because
but I don't
Rousey,
think so.
what did Rousey prove when she was on Tough?
Right.
17. She dropped 17 pounds in 24 hours.
Yep.
And then we didn't get to weigh her again later, but
Right.
I'm pretty sure with hydration, she probably gained 17 pounds back.
At least something.
Yeah, within
If she
20
dropped that much in 24 hours, and that was almost all water weight.
Yeah.
So then you could probably get that back.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
We have some news about Misha Tate. Misha Tate was acting as a superhero to a little girl
Not from the dad's aspect.
named Mary Jane. Her name was Mary Jane.
woman?
She
Mary Jane.
they were having a hike in Mount Charleston, and the little girl fell and broke her arm on Labor Day. Misha Tate happened to basically see what happened, and carried her multiple miles down mountain to the medics and
It
first
was
aid
2.
station. They said multiple.
It was 2.
2 miles?
Were you there?
I thought it because they
did
said
you
they
track it?
saved.
Did you track it on GPS?
The mom said it saved them hours.
Hours.
So I'm thinking 4.
Well, okay. Well, I initially read it. It said 2.
You just don't like cupcake.
He
love
loves
Cupcake.
Cupcake.
I
That's
don't
his
think
girl.
so. I don't feel it.
You don't feel it? I think it was funny when Misha Tate wrote this. She's like, I saw this woman, this meekly built woman,
Right.
struggling to carry her daughter on the hill, and offered to carry her.
And the little girl was like, I want her to carry me.
I want her.
Where do you go hiking where Maisha Tate just shows up?
Mount Charleston.
Right outside Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Why do you hike in Las Vegas? It's hot as shit there.
Yeah, that's
Seems
not a
like a
good
terrible
You
idea.
feel the burn. It's like hot Pilates.
Hot yoga smells great, man.
Smells great. Hot yoga with the wraps. That's the new thing.
That's the new thing. Oh wow, hot yoga in a diaper.
Yeah, someone was telling me that I think it's the hot yoga, but their class that they put a roll of toilet paper in the middle of the room, and they don't stop doing their Pilates or whatever.
Until it falls over.
And no, until the whole roll of toilet paper is soaked through.
That's what I mean, like falls over. Like
The
just
humidity, yeah.
Really?
Isn't that disgusting?
That's disgusting to me. Yeah.
Because imagine, dude, it smells like yoga pants in there. That's what it
Yeah.
smells like.
It smells like
and not
butthole.
like good yoga
No, it
pants.
smells like butthole.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dan Hardy says he is working on getting cleared to fight again. He says he does not know if he actually will fight, but he has started the process. Remember, he was diagnosed with Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome, which is a genetic condition in which he has an abnormal electric pathways in his heart, which leads to fast heartbeats that aren't necessarily life serious, but could cause some problems in the future.
It's like arrhythmia.
How many guys has the UFC saved by putting them through medicals that have found things that they never even knew they had? I mean,
Yeah.
Dan Hardy and Stefan Struve are just two.
Stefan
off the top of my
Struve,
head.
yeah. They said that he says, I enjoy commentating right now. That's all I'm trying to focus on. I enjoy doing that, and I love analysis. He loves his job. However, he loves being in a fight.
Right.
That's the thing that he fell in love with. He has to find out if he's going to be able to do it. He says when you're training for a fight, you look at your opponent, you look at yourself. You can never remove yourself from that equation. But he's like, where I had to take a step back, it's the beauty of mixed martial arts for what it is. It's disappointing for him not fighting, but it's nice to be removed from it so I can be a fan of it. Again, he is clearing, and we never know if he's ever going to fight again, but he at least is working on his medicals to get cleared.
It's been a while for him,
It
too.
has been a while, yeah. What else we have? Luke Rockhold talking about how everyone's asking about his next fight. He says the bout agreement came, the first bout agreement came, and he said the money was bullshit. That's also why he's possibly taking up modeling. He says he's in it for the money. He's not in it to fight whoever and for low-ass money. He said the money was good when he was the champion. Obviously getting the Reebok money, now that he's not the champion, that money's not where he thinks it should be.
So these guys get a taste of that gold. Plus, they see how much money they have the ability to throw at other fighters.
Yep.
Then if you're not making that kind of money, and you're a former champ at this point, Rockhold is.
Yep.
Then you got to kind of wonder, like, how am I not more valuable to the company? I don't know what the numbers were.
Right.
But fighter pay with the UFC has been an argument for a long time.
For a long time.
I think he's fucked up from getting knocked out so quick.
Really?
I
Just mad.
dude, because he had such a huge ego going into that fight.
He's always had a huge ego, but
I'm just saying,
as a champ, he
that
definitely is
bubble,
going to have a more.
That's the
yeah.
bubble that got heard popped all around the world.
Right.
man.
Another guy that is coming out, Shane Carwin, has announced his free agency. He is
Yeah,
released
where does
from
he
the
end
UFC.
up? Spin the wheel.
He has released the UFC. He is looking to explore his options outside the UFC. Obviously, the UFC can match those numbers if they do choose to do so. But right now, he is putting out that he's free agency. He's out of retirement, ready to see what's out there. He says, I'm excited for what the future holds, to prove myself to the fans that I should be at the top of the division.
We've been speculating this for a long time, too.
Long time.
Because he's been very active on Reddit, making comments about making a comeback, wanting to come back and fight Brock Lesnar at any weight.
Anyway,
I will put my slippery down right now and get in the ring.
Pretty much.
Let's do this.
He's hit a point, from what he's been saying on Reddit, too, he's hit a point in his engineering career to where he has more time to train again,
Right.
too. So I'd love to see him back in.
yeah,
think
I
it'd
like
be
Shane
awesome.
Carwin a lot.
I feel like his career was way too short-lived.
Way too short-lived.
But with
yeah.
him having the engineering career and also...
And he injured his back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to give him that.
Yeah, but if he comes back, it's going to be hopefully some melee. That'd be great.
Paul Felder is going to be fighting at UFC Fight Night 95 at the end of September in Brazil. He has started a GoFundMe to help bring his coaching staff to Brazil. He has raised $2,900. He has closed it to further donations. He's getting a lot of criticism for this. They're saying, why are you doing this? For a majority of fighters, UFC covers 2 flights, 1 hotel room for the week. Fighters are allowed up to 3 corners, so many fighters choose to pay for additional flights or rooms for coaches, friends, spouses, whatever. And he's been getting a lot of flack for setting up a GoFundMe, which I don't understand why.
Because people don't understand the policy. We brought this up before.
Joe Lauzon says, you know what? He goes, I typically fly out 2 more people out for the event. He's all, I got an Airbnb for a week for $1,200 rather than a room. He's all, the UFC kicked me back $600 because I said I'm not going to use your room. So he used that, put in his other, and got an Airbnb for him and his staff. He says, it seems a little odd. He goes, I don't understand. He's all, for me, if my landscapers did a GoFundMe to cover their gas, I wouldn't be donating because it's cost of doing business. He's like, just like the flights are a cost of doing business, just like paying coaches, paying for equipment, paying for food. That's why my landscapers get paid, to cover expenses, and that's why we fight, to cover expenses. Anyone can do whatever they want. People don't,
Yeah, we
Doesn't
all
mean
have
people won't
paths.
donate. He's like, if they want to do it, that's fine. He's like, it's something that just I wouldn't do. He's like, I hope people help him out. That's awesome, but it is what it is. He goes, and somebody said, well, don't you think that fighters, once it gets to the point where they're a big name and be a big draw, they need to have a viable market for them when they're starting out. It's tough for them to have to pay out of pocket. And he says, if you are choosing to be a professional fighter, you're choosing to have a difficult career. Like, you have to understand that from the beginning. He's like, it's how you handle yourself. It's how you have to train. You have to find someone to manage you. You have to be, worth it to you. You have to do all these things. He's on my first couple fights in the UFC. I had to go back to my job on Monday. But he's like, it's not like I'm in the UFC. I've made it. Just let everything go.
Right.
He's all, you see a lot of guys coming in thinking they're going to make the big money, and then they don't, and then they don't understand why.
Oh no, there's some of these guys that fight on the undercard that have to get the plane that night so that they can get home rest Sunday because they have to be to work Monday morning.
Right. Yeah.
That's what Lauzon's talking about.
But
So,
I don't see any problem with doing a GoFundMe for
Yeah,
it.
I don't understand why everyone's freaking out about it. Let the guy do it. If he wants to do it, you don't have to donate.
Right.
You don't
There's
like
just
it,
too
don't
many
donate.
people that worry about what the fuck other people are doing.
That's what we love to do.
But how do you have time? I wish I had time to give a shit about what other people are doing.
It's a good question.
Are you going to donate?
To who? I don't even know what's going on.
Felder, he wants to.
That's
get
what I'm
guys
saying.
to
I don't even know what's going on.
Donate to me. Go to my GoFundMe.
For what? Well, look at all the money, dude. We basically.
I
I'm
want to
running out.
sample every flavor of Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
All right.
I need that. I need that funded.
If you have it on GoFundMe, I might fund that, but I want to make sure the money actually goes to Kool-Aid.
I mean, this show brings us so much money. I'm running out of places to put the money.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're like.
That's why Joey can't sit up taller.
Yeah. That's.
There's not enough room for the money.
enough room.
His pockets are hella heavy. Right?
They're weighing me down.
Weighing him down.
You guys don't understand. After we shut
It's
this
the
camera
blue
off,
shirt.
We are Scrooge McDuck up in this motherfucker after we shut off the camera.
Just swimming. Swimming, which I don't understand how he did because those coins got to hurt.
Like,
Yeah.
bitch. He's magic.
And he's like spitting them out like they're water.
Because
You're
he's
choking.
got those duck feathers, man.
Choking. UFC 202
Yes.
reportedly has set a new pay-per-view record for the UFC.
Crazy.
2.6 million buys.
That's why Connor.
1.6.
1.65.
1.65.
That's
Yeah.
why Connor and Nick got paid so much goddamn money, dude.
1.65. The biggest one before that, they said, was UFC 100
Really?
back in 2009.
So Nick and Nate have number 1 and number 3.
Interesting. 209 throwing it down.
That's what I'm saying. Out of the valley.
By another 50,000 buys.
UFC 209 Stockton Arena. Make it happen.
209? Nothing
would-
but brothers, right?
that would be-
the Pettises, the Diazes.
That would be in
Yes.
April, by the way, and it's too bad they won't do a card on a Thursday to make it 420.
You might be able to.
That would be very interesting.
If it's a UFC numbered card, though, 420,
It has to be on a Saturday.
it would have to be on a Saturday to make it to be UFC 209. To be a numbered card, it would
Oh,
have
because
to be
we
on a
can't
Saturday.
break rules, right?
Just saying. Just saying.
They're not going to get the pay-per-view buys on a Thursday.
Right.
Why not?
They should do a fight night on 420.
You know how many
though.
people...
They did one, remember?
No, I would all remember it. It was on 420.
I was there. I was actually at the event. It was in San Jose.
Oh, okay, that's right.
And it was actually the Hendo card.
That's right.
And Nate was fighting on that card, and I was like, this is not fair. This is bullshit. Why would you make him fight on a 420 card? And then he got knocked the fuck out by Josh Thompson
The
with a
only
head
time-
kick.
the only time
only
ever.
time ever.
Don't fight on 420, boys.
Damn, radio, shut up over there.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
He's got nothing to say.
Nope.
I think he's high.
He's a little high.
Nothing to say about the Diaz bros?
Nope.
No 420 talk?
I don't smoke.
I've seen a thing or two, sir. You can't say you don't.
Oh.
What?
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 No, it was a CBD pen.
CBD pen. He was vaping. He was vaping. He's practicing for the Vape Olympics.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But they have the cloud competition.
Oh, yeah. Are the guys pushing the smoke rings through other smoke rings?
Yeah, making shapes like a dragon on a sailboat.
Yeah. The first time I heard the term professional vapor, I almost threw up in my mouth. It's all man buns and fucking plaid clothes, or I don't know.
We can't even be professionals doing this shit. There's professional vapors out there?
There's professional vapors. They get judged on, how, like I said, cloud size, cloud shape.
Jesus.
We choose not to be professionals because we can't pay the taxes.
Fair enough.
True.
That's the truth. That is the God honest truth. The minute we start taking money, we have to pay
Pay
taxes.
taxes.
Like 7 cents.
No.
7 cents on every dollar.
No, there's a lot more on top of that.
So, okay, $7 then.
Because this...
Abel Trujo is out of his fight against Evan Dunham at UFC Fight 994, which is going down next weekend. Instead, Rick Glenn, former World Series of Fighting featherweight champion, will be stepping in.
Wow, you got somebody on a week's notice? Nice.
Yeah, moving up to 155 pounds for this bout.
These people are getting smart.
He's won 3 in a row.
People stay in camp just waiting for other people to fall
Heck
out.
Smart move.
That'll be going down September 17th out of Hidalgo, Texas.
All right.
So
Everything's
get a chance,
bigger in Texas.
Get a chance
Except
to
for
see
Rick
a
Glenn.
former World Series of Fighting champion, first fight in the UFC, Evan Dunham.
Ain't nothing down there but
Good times.
steers and queers, and I don't see no horns on you, boy.
Leading into this weekend, Ian McCall
Poor guy.
Loses his opponent.
loses
again.
opponent again.
Is this number 3 or number 2?
Third.
Is it 3?
Third opponent.
Yeah.
At UFC 201, Justin Scoggins couldn't cut weight. Okay? So then they had another guy come in, Ray Borg,
Yeah, who'd have thought the
dropped
board?
out of his fights with
Huh?
Freddie Serrano, come out, he wasn't going to get paid. We don't know when we're going to see Ian McCall come back.
But he said he's fine. He's getting paid anyway.
He's getting paid some money. He'll be all right. He's getting paid to have abs. That's what he says. Getting paid to have abs.
It's good the UFC will pay these guys out.
Just
when they're
doing
fine.
what
Other fighters
Tan
pull out.
Ian does.
We did have our weigh-ins for the upcoming UFC 203 card. And just a little bit on that, we had Verdum and Travis Brown. Verdum talking a little bit of trash in Portuguese to Travis Brown, who had no idea what the fuck he was saying.
Of course not.
Just kind of smiled and nod. However, that has been translated. He was telling him, "Let's break this motherfucker. I'm going to break your face, you bastard. I'm going to break your rib, you clown. I will break you. You know I'm going to break you. You know that." And Travis Brown just went, sure.
What did Travis Brown say earlier? I'm just here to piss in his Cheerios.
Yeah.
So
What'd you show it for?
Is it piss in his Cheerios?
I'm just here to piss in his Cheerios.
Verdum goes all fucking Dolph Lundgren, but in Portuguese.
But in Portuguese. Yeah.
All right.
I wonder if that's really what he said, or if like the translator's like, "Oh, he called you very bad things,
Yeah.
horrible things.
Horrible.
He's going to take your bus and feed it bananas. He's going to. That's what he's going to do."
I've seen the picture of the rare. What do they call it? A horse?
Horse?
The Brazilian horses?
Yeah.
Of the buses in Brazil.
Yeah.
They're floating around. MMA forums, yeah. UFC Fight Night 93, Arlovsky versus Barnett went down.
All
over
on
the
Fight
weekend.
Pass.
All on Fight Pass. In the middle of the day, because it was in Hamburg.
Hamburg, Germany.
We'll just jump onto the main card here.
Oh, real quick.
Wait.
Our girl Ashley Evans
Oh,
Smith
my- yeah, again.
got a huge TKO in the third round, 3 minute 14 seconds over Veronica Macedo.
It could have
Very
been done.
good.
It could have been done earlier,
Could have been done earlier.
but she beat the shit out of her.
Yeah,
Good
she did.
job, Ashley.
Oh,
job.
dude, split her face open. Elbows were vicious.
Way to go.
So now you go on the main card.
Nick Hein went up against Tai Hoon Bang. Got a unanimous decision in favor of Nick Hein. Ryan Bader got a huge, ridiculous knee right in the face of Lear Latifi.
And they're saying it was accidental.
An accidental knee?
Like he was.
Like he was trying to step forward?
I,
he was doing
I
the
don't
jumping.
know. They said it was accidental.
I don't know how that's accidental.
I don't know.
That was the cleanest knee I've seen in a
I'm
long
just saying.
time.
Because Latifi went down
TV
like
just decided to
like
throw his
someone-
head against it? Like
someone shocked him with a taser.
Yeah.
See, oh.
Big time. Alexander Gustafsson gets a big unanimous decision over Jan Blachowicz.
do you think Alexander Stopson looks like the world beater he was that almost beat John Jones?
No, not anymore.
Well, not against Blachowicz. Blachowicz is actually a
He's a
good
tough
fighter.
dude.
He's a tough dude. I like the fact that the two of them had what they both drank from the boot, right?
Yeah.
They had 2 boots apiece. Is
that right?
Had beers together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Das Boot, awesome.
Yeah.
Josh Barnett gets a rear naked choke in the third round up against Andrei Arlovsky.
Who looked dead tired.
Well,
What was the early knockouts on their feet? Did you see that?
little
Where they
bit, yeah.
they tapped each other's face and one starts to go out, the other one taps the other in the face, looks like he's gonna go out.
Josh Barnett, title contender?
already?
I'm asking.
I don't think so.
I don't think so because it went to the third. If he'd have got the submission done in the first or second round, I would say so. But it was pretty drug out, man.
I'm thinking. I mean, we got Verdum is fighting this weekend.
Yep. So here's your rankings. Josh Barnett moves up 2 spots to number 7. Andre Arlovsky moves down 3 to number 9. Fabricio Verdum obviously going up against, he's number 1 right now, going up against Travis Brown, who has moved up to number 6. Alistair Overeem is taking on the champ. He's number 3. Cain Velasquez still kind of waiting it out, right?
How long has Barnett been on this roller coaster of a chart?
Since he came back to the UFC.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
just
much.
been back and forth, back
Yeah.
and forth.
I mean, do you see somebody you'd like to see Barnett fight?
I would
He already
watch.
fought Rothwell, I'm pretty sure.
Well, then that one's out the window. That's what I was going to say.
I knew you were going to say that one. I read your mind.
Get out of my head!
Yeah, I don't know that.
All right.
But I think whoever wins out of if Brown beats Verdum, then maybe Brown gets a shot. But then again, Brown just lost.
True, but I mean, he'd at least be coming off the win. Yeah, he's already fought Rothwell. He already fought Brown.
Nelson, Mir.
I mean, you can put him against Junior Dos Santos, yeah?
Sure. Get
See somewhere in
JDS
there.
action.
Right?
Yeah,
All right. I'd like to see that. Ultimate Fighter, did you get a chance to watch?
I did.
And?
It was silly.
Silly.
It was very silly.
Why is it silly?
Well, the trash talk between Cejudo and Benavidez is just dumb as shit.
Well, Cejudo doesn't have any trash talk.
Not at
So do you
all.
blame it all on Cejudo or do you blame it on Benavidez?
I have to blame it all on Cejudo because
Yeah.
he's really bad at it.
And I saw a recent interview
But,
where,
okay, well, no,
where,
you know
where
what?
Joseph Benavidez says he's a big dork, he's a big geek, he doesn't really know how to trash talk, so
It's
I just
not-
kind of go along with what's going on.
Yeah, but then when Benavidez just started repeating everything that Cejudo was saying, but in a like a dumbed down tone, I was
Right.
like, that's not very creative either. Yeah, like none of that's it was none of it was creative, and it seemed forced.
It's not forced.
That's exactly what he was doing.
That's what he's doing. You're rubber, I'm glue.
And we also had Damasio Page get into it with Zulu on the episode.
Yeah.
But it's like we've talked about before. Like there's a lot of cultural differences here. Like
What was he so upset about? I couldn't quite figure it
because
out.
Damasio Page was washing his sweet potato in the sink.
Okay.
Zulu came over and wanted to rinse out his bowl.
Right.
And so he rinsed out his bowl over Damasio
Over
Page's
Page's
sweet potato. And Damasio Page gets pissed off about it because he's trying to get his food ready. Bro, he comes from fucking South Africa.
Right?
Like, let's think about that for a second. You got
Let me stop you before you say something racist.
No, I'm going to say it anyway, motherfucker. Some countries, not like the U.S., where we can just use our fucking water freely, got to use it when it's available. Like, I'm not saying that that's exactly how it is where Zulu comes from, but these guys aren't taking into consideration that these guys are coming from other
There
countries.
is cultural differences you may
might
have to.
Yeah, they might not have the advantages.
I mean, while you're over here beating Christmas trees, we're over here beating pinatas.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I still hope to have that Christmas tree.
Yes, beat it in all the broken
This is a
toys
new
fall
thing.
out.
We're starting this.
But it's just,
For Festivus.
and that's the thing too, is like I text you guys that and I didn't get a response, but Zulu.
I didn't get a chance to watch it until later,
okay,
so
well,
that's why.
So Zulu and Hero, they're both fighting that night.
Yep.
And they both do their videos from their home countries that apparently all these guys have.
Yeah.
And both these dudes like bust their ass in the countries that they're from, Japan and South Africa.
Oh, yeah.
To provide for their
Make
family.
ends meet, yeah.
Yeah, to make ends meet. Like, dude, Hero works all night long so he can provide for his family and so he can train during the day when the gym's open.
Yep.
And then Zulu, he's a car technician. Like if he doesn't fix 5 cars a day, he doesn't get paid. I'm like, 5 cars in a fucking day? I'm 37 years old. I've never fixed one.
I'm over stabbing tires and just replacing them. Be like, I fixed it. It's running.
So these guys bounced for 6 weeks. Like the UFC had to give them some kind of
Something.
money.
Some sort of compensation.
Because otherwise, how's their family surviving? You know?
I'm
In a
betting
box.
just to get on a plane. I bet you the family probably got $5,000 to $10,000 a piece.
I would just like to know, personally. But yeah,
We did have that fight.
We did have to fight Hero up against Zulu. Zulu is a stand-up fighter. He has like 0 ground game. And Hero likes to finish all of his fights by rear naked choke.
Yeah, he is a definitely Japanese standout wrestler.
Yeah.
And jiu-jitsu practitioner.
And he's one of the pound-for-pound best in his country.
Yes.
Uh,
he is, hands down.
Yeah, and he showed some of his stand-up, but Zulu had the height and the reach to kind of keep him away.
Yeah, he's a little guy.
And it was pretty quick that Hero didn't want to stay standing anymore. Went for a rear naked choke, almost got it. Somehow Zulu was able to survive round 1.
Yep.
So good for him. But then in round 2, it ended up
It was
happening
quick,
anyway.
yeah. So your next fight, Damasio Page against Adam Antonin.
Yeah.
What do you think's going to happen? You're still going Page all the way, right?
You know what? I didn't do my research, man.
I mean,
and I didn't realize how good
He's going to have
Hero-
unclean sweet potatoes, so I don't know if that's going to be good.
Thanks to Zulu. I don't know. I didn't do my research wholly before this because Damasio Page was somebody who I recognized.
Yeah.
But like Shudo being the organization that it is,
Yep.
and Hero being like the
Top
best
dog, yep.
in that organization, I really think that he's got a smooth shot at winning this whole thing. I'll stick with Damasio Page at least through the finals, but we'll see who gets there.
All right.
You know?
UFC 203
Going down this weekend in
going
Cleveland.
down this weekend.
Man.
CM Punk makes it to the cage. I get money.
Since 200, man, it's been nothing but just looking forward to these cards.
Yeah,
Every week I've been looking forward
they've
to
been
CM
great.
Punk undefeated in the
They've been
UFC for 643 days.
It was like 100. What was it? UFC 197 or 198, where they really started stacking them heavily.
Oh, yeah.
But it's been awesome. So we're gonna go start off at the bottom here with Drew Dauber going up against Jason Gonzalez, and then Yancy Medeiros going up against Sean Spencer. That's
I
on
like
the Fight
Yancy.
Pass. I like Yancy too. And then if you jump on a Fox Sports 1, Little Fox, CB the Doberman Dalloway going up against Francimar Barroso.
I'm gonna take Dalloway on this one.
Dalloway he's been making some big moves.
Yeah.
I don't think he won his last fight, but he's made a bit of a comeback and been looking pretty good.
And I can't remember how many fights now he's had at light heavy, because before that he was middleweight, wasn't that right?
Yeah, he was.
I know he's in the Ultimate Fighter. Yeah,
So
he's lost his last 3.
That's 3 in a row. So he had 2 in a row where he looked really good, and now he's.
But this is his first one at light heavy? It is his first one at light heavy.
So we'll see how he does, or he'll get cut. 3 in a row.
Fair enough.
This is your walking papers fight. I thought he was doing better than that. I guess.
I thought so, yeah.
Anyway,
I think I'm taking him for the win.
then we got Chao Magalesh going up against Brad Tavares.
I like Tavares.
I don't know anything about Chao Magalesh, so I'm gonna have to go Tavares in this
All right.
one. And then Nick Lentz is going up against Michael McBride, who you can't click on. So Nick Lentz all the way
Nick Lentz by unanimous decision.
by UD. And then Jessica
Put him
I.
to sleep before the fights are over. This is your get up and go to the bathroom fight.
This is your ambient fight.
Yeah.
Last time he said that, somebody got dropped.
Yep.
This is true.
I'm hoping Nick Lentz can do something.
Jessica I up against Betch Correa.
This is a tough fight. I mean, I think I got Betch. Yeah,
got
I like
Betch.
Jessica I'm definitely going to be rooting for her, but I think Betch she puts the pressure on too much. And Jessica she's okay with like getting hit, and that's not a good thing with Betch Carrera, for sure. So
And Carrera's saying if she wins this fight, that her next fight, she wants to fight Cyborg.
okay.
Betch
Yeah.
Betch Correa wants to fight Cyborg?
Yeah, she said before she never wanted to fight another Brazilian fighter, but she thinks at this point that she thinks she could beat Cyborg now.
I would pay to see that fight.
You could go
Just to see her-
skydiving.
just to see her get wrecked.
You could swim with sharks in cages. You could go and do like the lion pit with a lion tamer, but you want to fight Cyborg? There's all kinds of exciting shit you can do in your life.
Just to get wrecked, I'd pay to see the fight.
Hey, he did laugh. Radio laughed. He's alive.
Finally.
I don't know how much Oxycontin he's on, but
Jessica Andrade going against Joanne Calderwood. I like Calderwood in this one.
I'm taking Calderwood as well.
JoJo.
I mean, and she's made some improvements in her game as well. Definitely in her stand-up, using her length and using her distance quite well.
Yeah.
I definitely like her in this fight.
They're kicking off the pay-per-view card here on UFC 203, followed by Uriah Can't Check kicks Faber up against Jimmy Rivera. I hate to go against the California Kid, man, so I'm not going to, but god damn it, Check
Well,
the Kid.
this isn't a title fight, right?
It isn't a title fight, so
So-
he's scheduled to win.
Okay.
Scheduled to win.
I'm hoping Riviera might be the first guy to knock him down. Might be the first guy that's not a title fight to actually break that gatekeeper status and punch through.
All they have to do
Uriah
is-
Faber is not getting any younger.
They just have to kick through it.
Riviera
That's
is a young up and coming guy who's doing quite well. Overall, I still think Faber can squeak it out, but I'm gonna be rooting for Riviera for the first time. I'm rooting against Faber.
You're rooting against Faber. Oh, I mean, the
and I
blueprint was
have one
laid
of his
out.
shirts. I have a Team Faber shirt.
It doesn't matter with shirts with you anymore.
It doesn't, because I have almost everybody's because I collect them.
He's got a shirt for everything.
Well, Dominic Cruz laid the blueprint for Jimmy
In fact,
Rivera.
I think I'm going to start bringing one to
follow.
wear every day.
And if CM Punk doesn't trip over a wire on the way down to the cage, we have CM Punk up against Mickey Gall.
Money!
Dodge is going to get $10 off me if this fight actually happens.
So that'll be 20 by the end of the year.
643
Ronda Rousey's
days.
not fighting by the end of the year. Guaranteed.
643 days.
Undefeated.
Undefeated.
So you're going
Mickey
Phil
Gall.
Brooks? You're Mickey Gall.
I would say do not sleep on Phil Brooks, a.k.a. CM Punk. He has a punch chance. Anything can happen.
Does he even have a puncher's
Okay,
chance?
knockout or submission?
Here's how I see it. I would say submission.
That's what I hope.
I would say submission. I really think, obviously, Mickey Gall is a young, hungry kid and definitely has more skills. The thing is, CM Punk, it's the unknown. It's the undecided. Nobody, you could say, oh yeah, I watched the footage that they put out on Fox Sports 1. Bullshit.
Eric, Roberto, what do you guys think?
You're gonna tell me that footage is 100%. Oh yeah, you're gonna listen to Bisping, who's like, yeah, I saw all 16 of his smoker fights. He lost all of them but one. Really? Because they just let you hang out, Michael Bisping?
Right.
Like, yeah, I mean, come on. I think there is a lot of showmanship in this. Me and Dennis were talking about this beforehand. Why is the UFC giving him his chance? Because he's money. It's money.
Of course.
It comes down to money. I don't care if he loses. It's money. Even though he has a 3-fight contract, it's money. You know what? Bellator would have signed him first if the UFC didn't.
Yeah.
And like I
guess
said,
what?
he
Scott
would've-
Coker would put him on a main event.
Yeah, against another WWE guy.
Or just some random celebrity.
you can't do that. Remember, they have to be licensed because there was
Jose
who was it?
Canseco got licensed.
Who was it that who was going to fight just a fan?
I don't know, Mickey Rourke?
No, they had a guy that was going to fight a fan. I remember that.
Yeah.
But that
Oh,
was that
that's right.
whole other organization. But as long as they get licensed, you give them enough time, they can get licensed.
Wasn't that a boxer?
Yeah.
It was Roy Jones Jr., wasn't
Roy
it?
Jones Jr.
Oh shit! Roberto said Punk. Roberto's going.
I think-
How do you run Fight Book and you're going to bite and you're going to
Here's
back
the deal.
Punk?
He has been
I'm just
training
saying,
off and
that's
on
me.
with Henner, and he goes and trains with Henner Gracie way back in the day. It's not like he was a black belt. He was even in his way up to a blue. He was nowhere ranked, but at least he knows the fundamentals. Okay?
Yeah,
At
but this
least.
is chess, not checkers.
I'm not saying he's going to win. I'm saying it's the unknown.
It is
I
the
don't
unknown.
think anything that anybody's seen of him is what you've actually seen of him. That's what I'm saying.
That's a fair assessment, especially with the kind of person that Phil Brooks is.
Yeah.
He's not going to let you see that kind of shit.
No.
That's why he said he weighs 200 pounds.
That's why he says he weighs 200 pounds.
But still, no.
I think Mickey Gall will still win this fight. CM Punk doesn't matter. He's going to have 2 more fights in the UFC, possibly 1.
Brett CK saying Punk's gonna die in the octagon.
I don't know if he's going to die.
I don't know if Mickey Gall has the assassin power there.
No. But what I would say is do not bet your money on Mickey Gall because it's a wasted fucking bet. Because he is such a favorite,
Yeah.
you're not going to make any money.
It's a 440, right?
If you want a little bit of money and you don't care about losing it, put it on CM Punk because the payout's going to be way bigger.
Yeah.
That's my advice
You
for
put
that.
100 on CM Punk, you're going to get a huge amount
You're going to get a
back.
bigger payday. But if you put money on Mickey Gall, you're not getting anything.
If you got to put $440 on Mickey Gall just to win 100,
You're
don't
dumb.
do that.
Yeah.
I'd like to say that betting spreads put together by split decision aren't actually good betting spreads.
No, they're
No,
terrible.
If
ever.
you have a different plan,
Ever.
please use it.
Yeah.
If you don't follow the show, I get every single prediction wrong.
So you could use that and bet against us.
Fabricio Verdum going up against Travis Brown here. I got to go Fabricio on this
I got to
one.
go Verdum as well. I think he got a little lazy fighting Stipe. Stipe really hit him with one good punch and then a lot of arm punches
Charlie Horse.
to kind of finish him out. But and Travis Brown's looked good, but not great since he moved over into LA and his training camp there. I'm definitely going to be taking Fabricio in this fight.
Dennis?
I'm gonna go with Brown.
Gonna go Hoppa?
I'm gonna go Hoppa.
Going Hoppa.
And then your main event, bringing the first championship back to Cleveland.
Yeah, he was the first one.
I don't know about first. Cleveland Indians did have a championship way back in like the 40s.
Oh, okay.
But we will say the most
First in a long time.
most recent
Most recent.
championship.
First in modern America.
Stipe Miocic. Are we saying Miocic? Because I got asked how to pronounce his name earlier today.
The first one in this century.
We can go with that.
There you
Go
go.
with
Yeah.
that works.
Yeah.
There you go.
But Miocic, is that it? Or is it Miocic?
I'm not even.
Let's
gonna-
just say Stipe.
Stipe versus Alistair Overeem.
the Ream.
Meow kick.
I'm going to have to give it to Overeem because the heavyweight belt has been a slut. And
I'm taking Overeem as well.
Really?
I like Stipe a lot, but to be honest, I'm afraid he's gonna Duran this, and he's been partying his ass off because he's fucking champion of Cleveland, baby,
See now,
and he's not been training that hard.
There's been a lot of talk that he hasn't been taking it that seriously.
I agree.
But I'm just the guy's lifestyle as a fireman.
I'm not saying
and
he's not in shape.
He's like the Diaz.
I'm saying
he never
training.
stops training. He
right.
never stops.
And how many fights have the Diaz lost because they're
Yeah.
always training?
Don't get mad at me. I'm just
trying to keep like I think Overeem.
Dodge is getting mad.
I think Overeem's got it as far as he knows how to control his distance. He knows how to control the kickboxing. At best, Stipe's not going to take Overeem down.
My problem
That's not
is-
going to happen.
my
No, this is
problem
going to be a
is-
standing
It's
fight.
going to be a stand-up fight. So, Stipe is a great boxer, right? Great
Right.
boxer standing up.
Right.
But when you put up against a kickboxer who's got more tools than just boxing, I think the kickboxer wins.
All right.
That's
I just
my
think
opinion.
the kickboxer is going to win simply because nobody holds onto the belt for more than one fight in the heavyweight.
It's what it
division
seems
right now. Yeah, the stats lately. But you got to remember, Overeem was Pride nut hugger.
Yeah, I'm biased 100%. No, I mean, even though I have played Stipe on Call of Duty on Xbox, we are friends. Me and Overeem are not. I mean, if I played lately, I'd probably be yelling, "You're gonna lose your belt, bitch!" as I shoot him in the head, and then he'd probably kill me multiple times, teabag me, and
Fall in.
I get kicked out of the game.
Is he still playing?
Do not mute.
I haven't seen him on lately. I get
So-
kicked out, so
Maybe he is training.
maybe he
Maybe
is.
he's not playing Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm with you, Roberto. Stipe's got this. I don't know how they're taking Verdum.
He's got heavy-
I mean,
Overeem. He's got heavy hands.
yeah, but
for
Overeem
sure.
is so inconsistent,
Not lately.
and he's been proven he has a button. We haven't seen
a button
Stipe's
against
button.
who?
He's been dropped.
He has
Look
been
at
dropped. He got dropped by, let's say, Bigfoot when he was defeating him for
Oh,
2
see,
rounds.
he got beat by a guy who had milk titties.
Who was he got dropped by him after
4-fight win streak. Stefan Struve, Roy Nelson, Junior Dos Santos, Andre Arlovsky. It's pretty impressive.
Who are those guys?
Ben Rothwell did.
Rothwell dropped him. Rothwell's the only
So
one
look,
that
we
I
got a guy
consider.
with a heart problem. We got a fat Colonel Sanders.
You got a punch drunk old boxer type guy.
Yeah.
And then you got
a
another
guy
glass
with
jaw.
a glass jaw.
All right. Stefan Struve, he hasn't felt a knee from Uber Reem yet, though.
Or a kick.
Yeah, I will see, man.
That's what I'll see. I like Stipe a lot. I just think Reem's going to take it. Will he hold it? Probably not.
No, it'll just go to the next person in line. Like somebody we all know.
I think he gets the belt and he retires.
Are we talking
What's
about
that?
her again?
I think Reem gets the belt and retires because then he's held them all in every organization and he's like, I'm done.
I'm out.
I'm out,
I did
bitches.
it. I got my belt. I'm done.
Might as well. He's getting up there.
Going to WWE, taking that belt too.
So that's UFC 203 going down tomorrow night in Cleveland. Make sure you check it out if you have the opportunity. Go to a friend's house or order it up yourself. Whatever you got to do. Big thanks to our sponsors, StrongboardBalance.com and MyMMAnews.com. And that's pretty much it from the Ruloff Family Inc. Studios. It's Bueller and Dodge saying have a good night. We'll see you at the fight.